Okay, so you guys should be on my eChalk page, and if you click on under the blue strip that says lesson and making inferences, there's going to be a step-by-step set of instructions for you guys to follow for the lesson today. I'm basically going to walk you through a PowerPoint that will help you guys make inferences. This is kind of extension onto what we've been doing for the past 3 weeks with context clues, where you're going to be looking at pictures, you're going to be reading paragraphs, you're going to be taking these clues, and you're going to develop your own thoughts or inferences based on what the paragraphs say. But we're going to walk through it step by step. So if you look under that blue lesson strip that says making inferences, I want you guys to follow the steps. So open up the PowerPoint that is attached to that. It should say inferencing PowerPoint. I'll give you a couple seconds to do it. Pause this anytime you want. Rewind anytime you want. Anytime you feel that you need to hear me repeat myself again, which I love doing in class, but unfortunately we're not together today since cold weather has been encompassing Berwyn for the past 2 days. So make sure you have your inferencing PowerPoint open. Now the next thing you're going to do is open up your Lit Studies journal. On your Lit Studies journal you're going to see a series of questions and prompts. You're going to see 4 different pictures along with clues underneath those pictures. You're going to kind of guess what they're doing in these pictures, and then you're going to tell me what your clues were. On our inferencing PowerPoint, I'm going to walk you guys through slides 12 and 13. We're going to read a paragraph story, and then there's evidence and an inference chart that you guys can fill out. I'll help you guys come up with a couple pieces of evidence, but I'm going to leave it up to you. And then tomorrow in class we'll go over it and see how well we did, and then move forward there with some further examples the next couple of days. Again, this is an intro into inferencing, and you guys might be familiar from doing this a little bit last year, but again, a lot of you guys have goals that are related to making simple inferences, and it's really, really important in literature, and it's something that I feel strongly about. It's something that I think is going to make us better readers in the long run. So, the 3 things that you should have open: you should have my video, and this could go off to the left-hand side. You should have your inferencing PowerPoint. You can leave that on the right-hand side. And then your Lit Studies journal, which you can kind of go back and forth. Now, whenever you get to a point where you're asked a question or you see one of the pictures, I'd like you to pause this video, give yourself a couple chances, give yourself a couple seconds to fill in what you need to in your Lit Studies journal, and then continue the video. And I will remind you when to pause as well. All right. And here we go. So you should have your PowerPoint in front of you. It should be the black PowerPoint that says inferencing. Going on to slide 2. What is an inference? It's a guess you make after thinking about what you already know. So what you already know is, again, going to be the words on the page. And based on that evidence, based on what you already know, you're going to make an inference. You're going to make a guess about what's actually happening with that character, what the character might be thinking, what the character might be feeling, so on and so forth. Here's an example. Suppose you're going to the post office. From what you already know about the post office, you might infer that you will wait in line at the counter. You can assume that when it is your turn, you will pay the fee for the services you need. Another example of an inference that I have made the last couple days is when I get up to go out to my car. An inference that I have to make is that I'm probably going to have to get out my ice scraper and scrape off my car, because I know it's been snowing. That's the evidence. I know that it's cold outside, and I know that there's probably going to be some ice on my windshield. That's my inference, that's my guess. I don't know what's going on outside, I haven't seen it there, but that's what I can guess based on what has been told to me. Alright, let's go to the next slide, slide number 3. we're going to make some inferences from some pictures. So every time we get to a picture, I'm going to tell you to pause the video, go onto your Lit Studies notes, answer the questions, tell me what the clues are, and then move on to the next picture. All right, slide number 4. All right, so we're going to make an inference. There's a man. You can look at the picture of the man. How do you think this person feels? So find this on your Lit Studies notes, and then what clues tell you how he feels. There's going to be a little section where it says clues. Just fill in about 2 or 3 words and tell me what are the clues in the picture. A couple things that he's doing in the picture that tells you how he feels. If I were you, I would pause this video right now. Okay, after we've done that, we're going to move on to slide number 5. Same thing. Where do you think this person is? And then underneath clues, type in a few words in your Lit Studies notes that tell me what helps you know that this person is in the place that this person's at. Pause the video. Okay, going on to slide number 6. What is this dog doing? Look at the picture. You're going to have to look at this picture a little bit more carefully to find out what some of the details are. All right? This isn't as obvious as the other ones, but same drill as before. Answer what he's doing, and then what clues help you know that underneath clues. You can pause the video while you're doing this. Please pause the video. Seriously, pause the video. Okay, going on to the next slide. How is this girl feeling? Now, what clues are telling you how why she's feeling that way? Pause the video, fill in your lit journal. Okay. Moving on to this slide is blank. Don't worry about that one. Now we're going to try it without a picture. Okay, so you should have slide number 9 in front of you. And this is just going to be a dialogue between me and you. There's nothing in your Lit Studies notes that you have to fill in for this, but I'm going to kind of walk you guys through the thought process, which I think will be helpful for this. So listen to me as I read along the slide. Waiting in the long line for just a quick rush of pleasure almost doesn't seem worth it. But when the wind is rushing in my face and causing my cheeks my cheeks to stretch back, I can't stop smiling. The sharp twists and turns cause my stomach to churn. But I want to keep going forever. What am I doing? Now, I know some of you guys maybe have never been to a place like this. I'm going to give you guys a little hint. Reggie and Isaac, you guys were reading an article about this last week. I'm going to tell you first about the evidence that I get from this story. So you should stay on slide 9. Some of the evidence will be waiting in long line. I'm going to look at other evidence. Quick rush of pleasure. That's a very important word to hang on to. My cheeks to stretch back. I can't help but smiling. So that's telling me I'm somewhere fun. So I'm waiting in line. That means there's a lot of anticipation going on, and I can't wait to get to where I'm going, and it's causing my cheeks to stretch back. I can't help but smiling so much. And then I look at sharp twists and turns cause my stomach to churn. And if you don't know what churn means, it means turn around inside and spin around a little bit. So when I see the words sharp twists and turns, and I know that I'm waiting in line, and I know that I'm smiling, it's something I'm excited for. I think I'm waiting in line for a roller coaster, to go on a ride on a roller coaster. But that's kind of how the thought process works on this one. All right, and so now it's your turn to practice this on your own a little bit more. Well, we'll go through another example here first. So I'm going to tell you, we're going to separate, I'm going to read you this paragraph on slide number 10. And then on slide number 11, we're going to separate the evidence from what the inference is. And you'll see evidence and inference on slide number 9. That's going to kind of help you guys figure out what to do for the two charts that are on yours. So don't worry, there's nothing that you have to do on your Lit Studies notes right now, but just wait until we get to the next one. So read along with me. We're on slide number 10. Laura had $5. Her mother had given the money to her so that she could buy a present for her brother. While Laura was shopping, she saw a book she had been wanting to read. It cost $4.50. So I'm going to read it one more time. Laura had $5. Her mother had given the money to her so that she could buy a present for her brother. While Laura was shopping, she saw a book that she had been wanting to read. It cost $4.50. Now I'm going to look at the evidence first. Let's click to slide 11. We have fact or inference. Laura had $5. That is a fact. That's evidence that you saw from that paragraph. The book cost $4.50. That is also a fact. Right from the paragraph again. Laura bought the book that she wanted. It didn't say that anywhere in the paragraph, but if you look back on it, you'll see that she had wanted a book, she saw it, and she knew that it cost $4.50. So you're kind of making that guess that she bought the book that she wanted. And then the other inference that you can make, since she only had $5, since the book that she wanted cost $4.50, and you're kind of guessing that she bought that book that she wanted, she didn't give a present to her brother. I don't know about this Laura character. She's a little bit, she might be a little bit selfish, but that's neither here or there. I'm making another inference about Laura, about her character, okay? Feel free to think about what you would about her. That's the other thing about inferencing too. You can make your own judgments or your own guesses about people or characters and stories, but it doesn't have to be right or wrong. The right or wrong comes from the evidence that you take from it, so you have to be able to back it up. My evidence is that Laura had $5 and there was a book that cost $4.50. So I'm backing up the guesses. Laura bought the book she wanted and she didn't give it to her, the present to her brother. That's backed up by the fact that she had $5 and that the book cost $4.50. Okay? So now it is time to practice on your own. So we're going to go to slide 12. I want you to look at your Lit Studies notes. And you're going to see two charts. You're going to see one chart about the setting, and you're going to see one chart about how is Winston feeling. All right, so this is a paragraph about Winston. He's a character. What I want you guys to do is draw a couple inferences about the setting, and then draw a couple inferences about what he's feeling. I would like you to put at least 3 or 4 pieces of evidence for setting and 3 or 4 pieces of evidence for how he's feeling. All right? And think about the words, think about the exact evidence that you see in this. We're going to go over this tomorrow, but I want you guys to at least put yourself through this thought process. It's a little bit hard at first, but once we start practicing it over and over again, you guys will start getting the hang of it. All right, so I'm going to read the story out loud. Then I'm going to give you guys time to first put the points of evidence on the left-hand side of the columns, and then put the points of make your inferences on the right-hand side of the column. Okay, I'm going to read the paragraph out loud right now. Winston glanced at the tense expression of the players standing beneath the basket. He wiped his hands on his shorts, then on his jersey, then on his foreheads. Wiping them on his forehead made them sweaty again, so he wiped them on his shorts a second time. He bounced the ball 4 times, and then 5. He usually bounced it twice before a free throw, but he'd never taken one before with not time left, and so much at stake. Before releasing the ball, he tried to focus, but he couldn't help noticing the entire stadium of fans waving towels in the hope of distracting him. All right? So, you're going to read that story again to yourself if you need to. Your job, your assignment for tomorrow is to fill in both charts on your both inferencing charts in your Lit Studies journal. Okay, you can pause this video, you can go back, you can look at it again, you can listen to me read it out loud again if you don't understand any of it. Keep the PowerPoint there. Again, I'm looking for about 3 to 4 pieces of evidence for setting and 3 to 4 pieces of evidence for how is Winston feeling. And then you want to make your own inferences based on what that evidence is. All right, good luck, and I hope you guys stay warm. We will see you tomorrow.